Good evening, good afternoon, good morning from where are you from? Welcome to Playful Spurs. I'm on here with, my name's Paul. Ryan is to my right on your screen, and Corey's joining us for our first ever live stream. Hi, Corey, how are you?
Yeah, a bit happy now that we've managed to get the saga of Kudus to one
Can't
side.
hear him.
You muting me.
It's always a Tottenham saga with transfers. It's never easy. Always trying to save a pound or two here and there.
In charge.
How's you, Ryan?
Yeah, not too bad, Paul, man. I'm glad we've actually got something to talk about. I was a bit nervous after the end of the first one, but yeah, I'm ready to just get down to business now and start seeing how far we can put this. Now, guys, we are going to quickly, before we go into anything else, we are going to give you the answer to this question. Paul, over to you, mate.
Did you get it, Ryan?
I think I got it right. I think if I'm not mistaken, it was Terry Venables, if I'm not mistaken.
So it was actually Terry Venables on the sale of Paul Gascoigne.
Knew it. Said it. Messaged Ryan it about a week ago.
Yeah. He did, but I did give him the answer.
He didn't give me the answer. I already knew.
Well, so that was the answer for that one. Anyway, guys. So,
classic comment, though.
A very Terry thing to say, isn't it? The guy was always full of a few decent quips in his life, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
I think my most favourite one is, I love it with
the players, banter with the crowd, and play good football.
Good player, good manager. You can say that apart from the last thing that we had in charge of us.
Yeah.
Football, we were lucky to
Less
win a
said
cup.
about that, the better.
Oh, yeah. Moving on, it's like having an ex-girlfriend lingering around too much, isn't it?
Oh, don't. That's just crazy having an ex running around. You don't need to tell me about an ex-girlfriend.
Or save the ex or Ange Postecoglou. That's a conundrum, that one. They're both hanging off the cliff. Who do you save? Fuck it, walk away.
That's a conundrum.
So I suppose we better get this show on the road then. So
yeah,
do it.
So we finally got the here we go for Kudus to Tottenham for 55 million. Levy's doing his tricks again because they obviously wanted 85 million on a release clause, and then they were saying they're touting around 65 million, and then we get him for 55 million. So is that Levy up to his tricks again, or is it just because West Ham were desperate for money? What do you think, Ryan?
Money and Levy at his old mind tricks. Oh God.
Do you know what? I think I don't know if it was actually up to Levy or from what I've been hearing on some of these other channels that I've just to get reactions from the West Ham fans. They're actually saying it's down to Sullivan being too having a soft underbelly. Well, if that's the case, bloody hell.
What was it? I was listening to one earlier on. Like, we're sending him to the filth, the scum. I was like, mate, you were thinking about sending him to Chelsea, those serial cheats. Just like City. You think about sending them to City, who are serial cheats. You know, these 115 charges at Man City are going to disappear. And now Chelsea get away with it every year. I don't know. Soon they're going to start selling candy shops to themselves, aren't they?
Oh
shit, we need to find 30 million. We better sell that Mars bar chocolate shop that we own down the road to ourselves. Fitting with the FFP.
Yeah,
I don't know if they've run out of car parks yet, but
honestly, they find more loopholes than in a water park. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy the amount of things they get away with that they can do. It's just like, you know, and there's Daniel Levy trying to be the prim and proper chairman and doing it all correctly, and we're the ones who suffer for that at the end of the day. It's kind of, it's hard. But
I think Chelsea get
he's
away
here.
with it.
He's on his way. Good sign,
Yep.
bad sign.
Very good signing for us.
Is he a good signing? Yes. He's better than
Just, yeah.
what we've got at the moment at right mid. And
Captain
I mean,
Tappin.
well, anyone's better than tapping merchant, Brandon
That
Johnson at the end of the day. But do you know what though? It's weird because if you remember earlier, Paul, when I messaged you and I turned around and I said to you we'd have a debate about him. Well, obviously, I honestly just think he doesn't even deserve to even be sitting on the bench. He doesn't even deserve it, to be honest.
Can we send that 55 million back to them with some of that dodgy lasagna that they gave us a few years as a thanks?
Are you taking the mickey?
Why not? They sent us dodgy lasagna, stopped us from getting in Europe. 55 million and some of that recipe back for you, lads. There you go.
Yeah, they did actually.
Yeah, but we're not like that,
No,
though. We're too nice for that, though, aren't we, when you think about it, Paul?
It's like that perk you can unlock on Football Manager on the Xbox. Like you can buy it for 99p, bad lasagna. You can have that running on the background of one of your saves. So everyone you play there always got like sick players everywhere.
Oh, that's typical. Yeah, but that's just typical fantasy gaming, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, no. Do I? Think
So
it's
does
a good...
Kudus go straight into the first 11, and where does he play?
Right mid, and yes, he does.
Yeah,
It's an
I
easy
think
yes.
it's right mid. He takes Johnson's spot, and I honestly think that he starts every week.
He has to, but then we shouldn't just stop at the signings of Kudus.
Is he going to rotate with Johnson though?
Every now and then, yeah, but you don't buy someone in like Kudus who is levels above. This is where Johnson is, this is where Kudus is. Yeah. The guy is levels above skill. He can take a man on. He's powerful. Like it's everything you want in a winger, and we haven't had that since Bale and Lennon left us. We haven't had that punch out on the wing since those two are gone. You know, we've really been struggling in the lack of the midfield department.
But do you know what's interesting though, right? And I'm going to ask you this,
And
Paul.
from what Corey was saying there.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, no, go on, Paul.
Go on.
Oh, right. No, I was going to say, and this is a question that's quite interesting because I know where I was and I know where Corey was. Where was you when you found out the news about it being done?
Working.
Something that I really want to get back to doing.
Work.
So you was doing work, and
so you know, nothing too exciting, but
at West Ham's phone, you're going, "Why have you done it to us? Why?"
Yeah, is that who you was on the phone to at that time? Is that who you were calling?
I was on the phone. I was on the phone to my mate Levy, congratulating him for getting a signing across the door before pre-season.
And that's the big thing there. Was it 10 days until they all fly off to career? Jesus. Now they need to do like a welcome to Tottenham video once it's official, like them taking that fight that him and Van der Ven had last season, and then it blending into like a bromance, or them cuddling, and then like butterflies and everything in the background, and like we love each other, Tottenham forever, or something like that. Just really corny, cheesy PR. That would be funny.
Do you know what? Nah, I'll tell you where me and Corey were.
No,
right? We was actually on Sava's members show when we found out about it. That's where we were both when we found out about it. I couldn't believe my ears when I first heard it.
Just replying back to an email for a job. As we're talking.
Good place to find out about it, though.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have banter with all the other fans, really, isn't it? So, like, if you can't have that bants and then find out good news, you know, you might as well not be there. I had a sneaking suspicion it would get done, but at the pit of my stomach felt like it was going to be one of them.
Oh, he's been muted. He's talking to himself.
No, I was lip reading. I was like,
you didn't fall for
it felt like that name we shall not say, Willian, doesn't it? Like we got the medical in, just about to sign the contract, and then we'll forget about that one. That one's done. That's what it felt like was going to happen. Yeah, he's got the all clear to come and play in England, and then ends up down the road. So like we've had a lot of players over the years where we've got the medicals done, they've just pissed off elsewhere. So that's what I felt like with Levy in the last 25 years.
That's because they met our medical team and went, not staying here.
Wait, didn't that guy used to have a hamstring? Is it duct tape now? Nah, it's all right. I'll go elsewhere. Our medical team, you could have both arms falling off and dragging along the floor just on like off of your veins and tendons. Yeah, he's fit to play.
Yeah.
The guy's like bleeding out.
That's interesting now, because what are we going to actually do? What is the only thing we don't really know I don't know too much about. Paul, you probably know more about it than me, mate. Is what is his injuries like? Are they different ones? Are they reoccurring ones? Are they what are they? Because I don't. That's the thing I don't trust, is that if he gets injured,
I don't know, to be honest. But from what I can see,
he hasn't really got that much of an injury track record to go by from what I've looked at.
If it'll let me do
it.
So
you're looking at it from, I can't really see anything at the moment, Paul, mate.
No, because my laptop's being a pain.
You know, there's a rumour 8 hours ago that Timothy Weah from Juventus might be joining us. Did you hear about that one?
About who?
Timothy Weah from Juve.
Where? No.
Ooh.
No, I've not heard that.
Ask his dad if he's any good.
One.
I was looking at rumoured Tottenham transfer news. Apparently, we were.
I've got to come out and come back in.
All right, well, yeah, you're good.
Maximilian Estevez a day ago.
Say that again,
Rodrigo Munoz. There's some of the players that we were linked to over the last few hours. I'm just looking at it now. Yeah. Connie De Winter, not a bad player from Verona. Very good player.
Fair enough.
Just like looking through some of these rumours that we're linked to. Andrea Lookman, I really hope that doesn't happen. He's a good player, but there's a reason why a certain team let him go before he went to Italy.
Oh, don't. Let's not start that one again.
Apparently, over a week ago, we was linked to Edmund Tapsoba again.
Who's that in the watching? Hello, whoever that is. Big up.
Shall we have Zalewski? Welcome to the Playful Spurs. I'm the Korski. This is Ryan, and obviously Paul's just dipped out for a second. He used to go get a cutter.
So, but no, so right.
Be like from the IT crowd, wouldn't it? Turn it off and on again.
Yeah, oh, don't.
What do I want to see at Spurs?
Here we go. Let's see if that's worked. If that's any better.
The very thought of us actually potentially signing anyone of worth right now. Kudus, very good player. Right, you've got me a right winger, Mr. Levy. Now go get me a left winger as well. A striker that knows how to either hold up the ball and score, as well as a CDM. Don't worry, I was getting to that.
Oh.
I want a left wing, a right winger, which is Kudus. I want a new striker because last year I went with Rich C to go and watch Tottenham Southampton, and even at Southampton, the game against the team going down, Solanke couldn't hold the ball up. Just says a lot about Solanke. I think I'd rather have a bloke with one leg up front than Solanke. You know what I mean? Either that or one of those mobility scooters than Solanke, to be honest with you. The guy is just awful.
Oh, that's a bit better. Now we can actually see something.
So this is what I was trying to bring up before.
Yeah, now it's a little tad small though. I can't barely see a
So
lot.
can you see that now?
It's still small when I
Yep.
don't know if you can see it. Oh, right, that's better. Right, that's a lot better. Right, yeah.
So as you can see, when you were saying, is he injured? This is just his Premier League appearances. In 2 seasons, he's had 65 appearances, 13 goals and 9 assists.
Right.
In the Premier League.
Okay.
Well, it's a good return. Well, his first season.
When you get to,
from.
is it here? Yeah. But I also think he's like manager-wise didn't
help him.
Wasn't great.
Like, being shipped around to all different positions on the park.
Yeah.
The only position he didn't really play was in goal, making the water for everybody. Which is, you know,
so
is this just last season's or over the whole 2 seasons?
No, in the Premier League. So basically, he's played 5,000 minutes. But this is what excites me. He's done 391 dribbles, and 50% of those have been successful.
Yeah.
He knows how to take a man on.
Jules
He's direct with his pace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even aerial duels.
And he's look at his
100.
Yeah, long passes and passes completed.
87% passes completed and 73% long passes completed.
Yeah.
That puts him up in the 90th percentile of most players as well in world football.
Exactly. And then what we do is, if you look at who he's going to be taking over from.
Don't. The guy only knows. The guy can only tap it in. Stop it. It's Timo version Bale.
No, but I'm just saying, when people say like, oh, Johnson needs to play, our highest, top goal scorer.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Goals tapped in. 19.
What's it doing now? It's taking its time.
I didn't rate him when we brought him. I still don't rate him now. Like I said, it's like the Timo version Gareth Bale.
It's not loading.
Wales, but none of the skill.
Oh yeah, it's great. When it's not loading, it's
no stats available because he's shot.
Right. So he's obviously got for this season. Let's have a look. My computer's on a real go slow today for some reason. I don't know why.
Great season he's having so far. No stats available. I like it.
I thought that was for last season.
Wouldn't it be nice if they said how many goals tapped in at 2 yards? Out of 2 yards, it'd be like 18 out of 19 of his goals.
Oh yeah, look, 24 goals, yeah.
But then if you look,
16... yeah.
Where is it?
And
Well, let me scroll down now.
Hit the woodwork.
Right, so, but look at this. Look, but look at this. Passes completed, 1713.
Yeah.
Long passes completed, and he's only completed 61 long passes, and 26% of those he actually completed.
How much of those nearly 1,800?
And then if you look at the minutes he's played.
Yeah.
And look at that. Dribbles completed 184. And he's 43. Now, that'll be in 3 seasons in the Premier League, remember, for Brennan Johnson.
Yeah.
Because he had a season at Forest.
Yeah. That's poor.
But look at that. 184 dribbles.
You've only completed.
Yeah, that's absolutely poor, that is.
And then if you look at his defensive stats.
Jesus. Wow. Blocks.
And if you look at his defensive stats, 103. Kudus was the same. Was 103 tackles in 2 seasons, whereas he's done that in 3 seasons. And then if you look at his Johnson's discipline record, 14 yellow cards, 82 fouls, and 43 offsides. And then Kudus, I'll just read this out. And Kudus for that, discipline-wise, 1 red card, 8 yellow cards, 78 fouls, and 34 offsides.
4 less fouls.
So his discipline, his tackling, his everything, his defence, everything is just so much better. Obviously, Johnson's better in certain areas, but with goals. But yeah, other than that.
Oh yeah, but that's only because 18 of them came last season. Who were tap-ins?
Captain tap-in.
Well, yeah.
They say,
but then that's the problem, though.
When you can tap it in from 2 yards, you're also deemed a hero.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but do you know who he reminds me of? Who Johnson reminds me of? Gary Lineker. You know where all we used to do is hang around that 6-yard box.
Yeah, but at least Lineker actually had some class about him.
Yeah, but that was Lineker's job because we had wingers that could cross.
Yeah.
when he was in the box. But he reminds me of that Gary Lineker sort of guy that just sits in that 6-yard box and causes all sorts of problems when the ball goes in there.
Yeah.
But that's not his job. That's Solanke's job. It's like he was trying to play 2 different roles. And the reason why he got most of those assists and goals, they all did. Every single one of his goals come from the left-hand side.
Yeah.
It does irritate me when you want to see a winger take on a player. I'm a purist of football. I want my winger to take on a man, not run a little bit, get scared, and then pass the ball backwards. I want it. I want like the Lennons and the Bales. I want the Giggses of this world at my club. The maverick players that take on, shimmy, drop a shoulder, beat their man, like Madders did last year. That set that go up. He dropped a shoulder, rolled the player, and then everything's history, isn't it? Literally, that's where you want Madders as well, dropping a shoulder and making a shimmy. You want Johnson to be able to take on a man, 143 take-ons with a 43% completion rate. So what's that? That's not even 60. What's around 62?
Bear in mind, that's over 3 seasons, Corey. That's over 3 seasons.
Over 3 seasons, yeah. So he's beaten a man 62 times on average. So that is pretty shocking. Like 143? 43% completion rate. Yeah, that's what. So 50% of that be 74, 75. So 63%, 43% is.
I'll work it out.
59.48 or 60, around 60-ish% or 60 take-ons in 143.
See, that's bad.
Works out around 59.8% if my maths is still as good as what it was at school.
Something like that. Yeah.
Well,
something like that.
It says a lot of shit. My nan could probably take on a player better than Johnson.
But these are sort of players, and I get why we bought him. It was purely for the English quota. It was purely for the English quota. We couldn't buy foreign players last year because we still had too many on the books. But
this is what I don't like, though, right? And this is where I said I was going to.
No, I meant when we bought Johnson.
Oh, Johnson.
Yeah. We bought Johnson 2 seasons ago, didn't we?
Yeah, but technically Johnson falls under the Welsh FA, which isn't a part of the English FA. So technically speaking, to the rules, he's a foreign player, but he's not. It's a weird, convoluted sort of like ruling on how the Welsh, Scottish, and English FAs work. But if you're not within that bracket where that borderline goes up and around from Scotland down to Wales, it's weird how they work it out.
This is why I've got a debate you, Paul, about this, man. And this is probably the best time whilst we're on this topic as well. He needs to leave, mate. I said this to you earlier. He needs to leave, and you're telling me he's going to be a good backup, and I don't even want him as a backup in any way, shape, or form.
No, but at this present point in time in our squad, we're going to be playing roughly 55 to 65 games next season, right?
Mhm.
Kudus is not going to be able to play those games. Yes, he might not be the best player, but we know he can come on and do a job if we need him to. He can be in that box. He can get a tap in. I don't care. He might just get that one over the line. But this season, we've got more priorities to do than by getting rid of Johnson and decimating our squad. Because then who comes in?
One of the youth players.
Who comes in if Johnson goes?
Mikey Moore, better. He's better. He's better than.
But
Johnson
Mikey
all
predominantly
day
plays
long.
on the left. Mikey's a
Yeah,
right foot. That
Mikey
plays on
Moore
the left.
predominantly plays on the left.
He's a right foot that plays on the left. He cuts on the inside onto his stronger foot to get that pass off or have that shot. That's Mikey's main strength
Right, then
from
James
some of the
Gomez
youth
then.
teams I've watched. But then there's a lot of old wallpaper still stuck in our water club. We still got the likes of Ben, I'm overrated, Davis at the back. Sonny, I've been here 3 years too long. Son. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Sonny, but now go out on top, dude. You've won a trophy with us.
Yeah.
Going to sunset, but Levy isn't going to want to miss out on his 12 to 15 million a year from the fan bases of Asia, to be honest with you. So the only reason why his contract was extended was how much more money can I make out of this bloke. That's all Levy sees him as. He doesn't see him as a football player or a person. He sees him as how much money can I make out of this guy. And I feel sorry for Sonny like that. That's why I feel like if he was to leave with the sort of like graces of all the fans because we love him, and he goes off to another club like in the MLS or God forbid Saudi Arabia where he said he'd never go, you know, at least that guy could go and make some money, and Daniel Levy would be stuck trying to find the next big thing to milk and carry on doing the same thing with.
But
Yeah, I get that.
even
But
buying English, an actual English right mid if we have to, and still get business done everywhere else. This is what I'm saying,
Yeah, but-
Paul. Right?
Elliot and
Because-
McAtee, go get them in. Their clubs are trying to sell them. Go grab them in. English
Yeah.
quota sorted. Two very good
But
young,
we've
bright
got-
English prospects. If we can get something like that over the line.
that's the question, though, isn't it? You know, Spurs are not going to get Kudus in, sell Johnson and replace Johnson. They're just not going to do it. So maybe for this season, and from what we've all said, Ange didn't coach. Johnson hasn't improved in 2 seasons. So with Frank coming in, will he do the same as what he did at Brentford with these players that weren't performing? He got them performing. You know, the likes of Wissa and Bembo, I can't pronounce his name. You know, he got these weren't star
Brian
players
Mbemo.
for the last 3 or 4 seasons. Brian Mbemo, you know, he's only just broke onto the scene this season.
Yeah.
So,
But you have to give mad props to, you know, when Frank was at Brentford, because his scouting team, I knew of Mbeumo when he was playing in France in the Ligue 1A, the second tier down. I watch and consume a hell of a lot of football in all different leagues.
Yeah.
I was watching him closely. I was like, this player's got something about him. Then he went to Brentford. I was like, fucking hell, that's pretty good for him. Wissa, another good player plucked out of French obscurity, you know. It's just something they find these players in very good leagues, a very small, lesser team to be able to offer them the wages. All right, you're going to come and play in London. We can offer you what? You're on £5,000 a week? Yeah, we'll give you £30,000 a week for us to come down here to Brentford. You know, and they've gone out with their scouting team when he was there. Because I mean, I know Frank's brought a hell of a lot of his team with him. I think most of his scouting team as well as coaches. I think he pretty much brought most of Brentford over with him. I think the only thing he left there was the computer with all the players' names on, to be honest with you. It's like that we need, if other clubs, plural clubs in world football do this, they have a player for a few years. They see what they get out of him. If he's a stud, they keep him on. If he's a dud, they move him off. Then after a few years, if they start getting aged a little bit, they're like, right, this guy's taken X amount of us over the years in the wages. Let's try and sell him on for a little bit, not much. See what we can get. City do it, Chelsea do it, Liverpool do it, United do it. All the big teams do it. And as soon as you mention about us doing it with certain players, half the fan base shits their pants and starts throwing those shitty nappies at you, You're like, oh my God. Like, when just saying some of these players, like Hugo Lloris, I'm a big advocate for goalkeepers. But even Hugo, we should have sold 3 years beforehand as his powers were starting to dwindle a little. Again, we've had Ben Davies too long. If we can get rid of the likes of a certain Chicken Royale to Italy, if we can get rid of other players that are like your Serge Aurier, if you can rip up Matt Doherty's contract and say, right, we can't because of obviously quotas for this and that.
You've forgotten one
Why
person.
can't we? What? Who?
Endon Burgers.
Oh, don't start me with Endon Burgers. We signed him off the back of a YouTube video.
Yeah,
That's
but
the way I
then
feel
we
about it.
also ripped his contract up, though. We ripped up in Endon Burgers'
I didn't.
contract.
I mean, in France, Ndombele was a very, very good player amongst average players. Found out in the Premier League because his attitude stunk. And then when he was like walking off slowly in the FA Cup and that, and when all of us fans were booing him because of that, and his just attitude stunk, and he rode us for 4 years at 200 grand a week. No wonder why he wouldn't want to sit. Why he would want to either sit on the bench at 200 grand a week, or fuck off to Turkey or France, or the back end of Bolivia. As long as they're paying your wages, mate, you just get away from the fans, don't you? So, I mean, we're still looking 15 years later down the lens of we're still looking to replace Modric, Bale. We're still looking to replace Dembele, the original and good Dembele, not the shitty one that we've had for like 4 years previous. Still looking to replace those. We're still looking to replace Kyle Walker. Players like that. We're still looking to replace players like Ledley King, who, retired so many years ago, but, put him in a shirt, he'd still probably do a serviceable job nowadays. I mean, we sold Kane and people were still talking about, if we had Harry Kane, the guy wanted to leave because Daniel Levy showed no promise of improvement or change. That's why Kane wanted to go. He was fed up with this team that he was carrying on his back with Son for nearly 10 years. That's the reason why the guy left. And I was happy Harry left, because why should you be around this bloke, not showing the ambition of the players? He's supposed to be an owner, and I thought owners were meant to have an ambition to want to progress and be better. It's like tearing down a lane to build a very expensive sixth form college with a pitch in the middle of it so some kids can kick football. That's what it feels like. Insert stadium name here. Who's coming on this weekend to come and sing? Guns N' Roses? Yeah, I don't mind a bit of Guns N' Roses. Beyonce, fuck off. I can't stand her. But like boxing and all, like, it's just an entertainment venue now. We're not a football team anymore. We lost our soul when we moved over to Levy and his cohorts 25 years ago. And they even come out and said it all those years ago. We're not here for footballing reasons. We're here to make money. Oh, right then. Fucking hell. Jesus. Oh, my mother's trying to ring me. Shit. But no, I mean...
You want to take it, mate?
No. Right.
I mean, for me though.
Yeah, go on. I'm still here, Paul. Go on.
For me though, Kudus is a good signing.
Yeah,
Kudus is a good signing, and
definitely
it's an exciting signing. But I don't think he's the needle mover that we need. We need,
what we've got at the club, though. He's much better than what we've got at the club at the moment, though.
We need more.
I'm not saying we don't need more.
It's like Corey was saying, we hold on to players for long, and a minute.
Paul frozen.
And the minute we go,
some stupid idiot,
in their we're going to sell him, and everyone was like, "Why are we selling Harry Winks? Well, why are we doing it? Why are we doing it?" And then all of a sudden, they're moaning like, "Well, why aren't we signing these other players?" Because you want to keep hold of the players like Harry Winks. That we hold on. We could have sold him the season before for double the money we got. So, again, what Corey was saying, we hold on to players too long. If these players get a thing and they're bid and they're not like an integral part of the first team, get rid. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy, but we've never done it right, and this is what I'm hoping that's going to change now.
Well, with Vinay coming in, I'm hoping things kind of do pick up a little
Other
bit.
clubs do it all the time.
Backroom level, but you can still feel Levy's presence is there with transfers and how the staff run and portray themselves. It's just infuriating to think that this guy, him and his two cronies, one of them sits on a yacht all day long out in the middle of the Bahamas and has no real interest. That's if he hasn't been done for fraud yet. But I mean, how can we not have a set of owners? There's three of them.
Insider trading.
If you're 33% of the three-man ownership, that shows ambition. The other two don't. You try and buy their shares out, wouldn't you? I know that's what I'd do. Right, this has gone on as long as it is. These fans are at loggerheads at each other. They can't get on board with it, and they're singing, "We want Levy out, we want Enoch out," and stuff like this. It must. I'm the biggest advocate for Daniel Levy to get the hell out of the club and take his mates with him. But it's got to hurt his pride just a bit when the fans are constantly on his neck, at his throat, chased it. It's like chasing. I'm trying to think of like a perfect euphemism here.
Is that trying to chase an ex that you want and you want back and she ain't?
It's not. No, I'm trying to think of like a perfect euphemism. But what I was going to say was like Dr. Frankenstein and his monster. But that's a little bit, pitchforks and fire too much. But I was trying to think of a good euphemism. But all I can think about is literally Dr. Frankenstein's monster. Everyone's chasing this bastard down the road. I mean, I've been at the protest as well. I want the guy gone, but show some ambition, Daniel, and sign some good players. We might actually get off your back for a bit. You come out with your statement saying we want to win this, we want to win that, but you haven't shown us in 25 years that you want to do that.
To be honest, though, I'm not Levy's biggest fan, but I remember us when we were under Sugar. We were a shambles. Yes, we signed players, but we were financially insecure. When they come in, they stabilize us financially, and they have built up a financial powerhouse. And what gets me more with the fans is that 1 minute, we'll make a really good signing. Oh, the manager made that signing. It was absolutely brilliant. Whoever that manager was at the time. And then when something goes wrong with a transfer, it's not the manager or the scouts. It's Levy. Why did Levy buy him? Why did Levy pay that much? Ndombele is a prime example. He went in and bought a really top player. Everybody wanted him at the time. And then when he come in and played shit, everyone was like, oh, it's Levy's fault. It's Levy's fault. There are certain things that are Levy's fault. There are certain things that are Levy's fault, but it's not all Levy's fault. And I think this is where we get confused, in the sense that he has brought a team in underneath him for the last, 8-9 years, where he's had director of footballs, he's had scouts, he's had all this, and he's obviously going off their recommendations. Surely. He's not going out there looking at players and going, oh, well, we'll go for that player because he's, it's obvious that player's obviously been brought to his attention. So who's to blame?
I believe he's got something.
Yes, Levy is to blame at some point, because we could have got players where he could have put the extra 10 million.
Yeah, extra couple of million down to bring the players in. Yeah, you were cutting off, Paul.
I just don't think everything's his fault. I don't think he's the perfect. Yeah. Cutting off.
Yeah.
Let me try it this way. I'll drop out and come back in.
Be like the IT girl, mate. Try turning it off and on again. But yeah, what Paul was getting at is like over the years we have had transfers where we've missed out 2, 4, 10 million here, where players have gone to other clubs in the end because the other teams have slapped down the money. We have systematically held on to players too long. I mean, Eric Dyer, prime example. Man United come in at a £50 million bid for Eric Dyer, and we turned our backs to it. Fucking hell. It's like, let's go back, right? You need to sell him 50 million. I can tell you now from the future, the guy's shit. And he's going to go start arguments in the stands with fans. Get rid. I mean, we've got to do better. We've got to do better. We need a better scouting team.
even about whether they're being good or if they're being shit, right? It's just down to Levy not doing his job properly.
But then the transfers and everything, the manager has to agree, as well as the owners and the director of football, if this player's going to be the one. I mean, for the last 3 or 4 years, we have signed some utter dross. Richarlison being that, I've only scored 13 goals, top Premier League goal season with 13 goal return from him. I like him for his shithousery, but that's about it. The guy is about as fucking. He's about as useful on the. He's about as useful on the football pitch as a guy with fucking a wooden leg stuck in the mud. He can shit else. Every now and then he might score a header, and that'd be it. And then we'll want them fans of Laxerical going, "Yeah, see, we told you it was all right." I mean, come on. There are better players in the world of football for 65 million. You could get a striker cheaper that actually has better return than Richarlison. We signed Solanke off the back of one fucking good season at Bournemouth. There's a reason why Chelsea and Liverpool let him go. Like, come on. Why are we getting the Slankies of the world?
At the end of the day, mate.
You what?
Dom's so fucking lanky, yeah, right? Is absolutely dog shit.
Oh, yeah. I said that before we even signed him. Like I said, when we were linked to him, I was like, oh, please don't. There's better out there. Please don't. Please don't do it. And they did it. And it's
I wouldn't take another bloody Tony. I said this on Shaw Butler's show a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I would have taken Rubber Tony as well, you know, but he had the ban for betting and everything like that. So it's probably the reason why we stood away from that because of the ban. Yeah, I know, but that's probably the reason why we didn't go in for Tony. Now he's gone off to Saudi. But all these guys that have gone off to Saudi have seen that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. You can go and grab the bag all you want, but some of these players are like, nah, man, I want to come back to Europe. I mean, you've got the guy that left Villa in the transfer market 6 months later, he's going to Turkey. You're like, okay, really?
No, but
what's going on?
What? I don't believe it's got hardly anything to do with that. Where I think it's wrong, right, is if Tony wanted to come back, he would come back, and yeah, he'll have to take a big wage cut. But if he's determined to come back and show that he has something to he wants to prove something before the World Cup, then I'll be more than willing to take him back. And this is what Danny Kiriakou was saying to me. He would take him back in a heartbeat if he was determined to want to get back into the England team. And I've said the same thing. I said to him, yeah, I'd take him back now as a realistic option to buy. Well, not an option to buy, but to buy.
Ivan Toney is a very good, underrated striker. He can actually put the ball in the net, whereas Solanke, seeing it on TV to watching the guy live when he couldn't even hold up the ball against an already relegated Southampton just says everything you need to know about a player that's only returned, 6 goals? 60 million, 6 goals, that's 10 million a goal he scored. Well done. Like I said, there's a reason why the Chelseas and Liverpools let him go when he was younger. Because maybe he just wasn't good enough. Shock horror. Went to Europe, had a okayish season in Holland, ended up at Bournemouth, scored 19 goals, and now he's playing for fucking us. It's like, why? I don't mind an underdog story as long as the underdog's good. I don't want an underdog story where the underdog is fucking on 2 legs, scraping its ass across the floor, going, look at me.
What about Jamie Vardy then?
I'll take Jamie Vardy all day long over fucking Solanke. Guy's shithouses and he knows how to put the ball in the net, but the guy's 39, so he'll probably end up at Wrexham. You know, most of these like older age players there will probably end up at Wrexham because they're in the Championship, and I get to go and rub shoulders with my man crush Ryan Reynolds. You know, everyone's got a man crush. Mine's Ryan Reynolds, but hey,
I haven't got no man crush.
Oh mate, you're telling me Ryan Reynolds knocked on your door for 10 mil, said, "Mate, me, you, right here, right now." You're gonna say no?
Yeah.
For 10 mil, yeah, right. I don't think so, mate.
I would. I wouldn't. I ain't got no man crush.
Oh, whatever. You got to have a crush on yourself, mate. You got to think highly of yourself. So there's your first crush, is yourself. It's not me being arrogant. You got to love yourself first before you love others.
Yeah, well, you try telling him. This ain't even the time to be talking about love lives, but no.
No, I'm just
You know what I
giving it
mean?
straight. But like with football, it's very black and white. There's the grey in the middle. But when you're looking at players like Solanke, why the fuck? Why the fuck are we going to get him when there's players out there cheaper, better, and actually know where the net is? Hold up play, weak. Passing, weak. It's like it's worth. It's like watching a shitter version of Teddy Sheringham, and Teddy Sheringham was a god. So you know what I mean? It's like how many shit strikers we've had over the years, and you've got
God
Dominic
knows how
Solanke,
many.
Petrescu, Sergio Rebrov. You know, they're a bit. We've had some absolute shocking strikers, but at least they could score. We've got a shocking striker that's cost us 10 million a goal for his first season at us. You know, shake your head in disbelief, lads. And everyone that was waxing lyrical about this guy coming in, I was like, I even said, I think I said it to Sav last year. I think it was. I can't remember, but I know it was one of them. And I said, if we sign Dominic Solanke, it will show the lack of ambition of what we're going to be signing in the transfer market. The guy's had one good season, and there's a reason why Chelsea and Liverpool let him go. I know I can't remember who else we were linked to. I know it was Ivan Toney and someone else up front, but there was a kid in Germany that is now, I can't remember his name, but we was linked to a kid in Germany at the time as well. And we went for Solanke. It's like the guy scored 19 goals in the Premier League, one good year in how many seasons as a pro? He's effectively cost the club 10 million a goal. It's like you've literally got him sitting there, Bournemouth, like, thanks for that one. Oh yes, like all this money Bournemouth have gone off and made from selling players off for profit in the last few years. I'm surprised they haven't gone off and started trying to build a new stadium.
Well, no, I'm surprised they haven't renovated.
Well, they got the money for it.
Well, they got around 300 million in 2 seasons. They ain't got no FFP problems for a few years, have they? You know what I mean? We effectively
Yeah, but they can only
no
spend.
FFP,
They can only spend what they earn. Remember?
Yeah, but
They can only spend a certain amount of that.
They can expand their stadium, and that doesn't affect the FFP.
No, they're allowed to use the money they make to invest into things outside of the club as well. So like training pitches, stadium development, as well as anything else the club needs outside of football. They can also invest it into the local community because Bournemouth is a shithole. There's nice parts of Bournemouth, and then there's the parts of Bournemouth like, you know, where that stadium is. Just follow the crowd. Oh, mate.
Is that song? Follow the leader, 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 follow the leader.
But for a club like Bournemouth with a stadium of like 13,000 people into the Premier League, I thought there was like a minimum seating requirement to be in the Premier League. I don't know how they got around that one.
Do you know what? I'm surprised they haven't added more seats to their stadium with the money they've earned, though.
I mean, you could be like the cricket ground down here in Hove. You know, they've got their thousands of seats, like, you know, for people to go and watch. But the whole entire area for the cricket ground has got high-rise flats. So everyone on like cricket days are sitting in there, like, you know, off their balconies watching the cricket for free, you know, with the radio on. It's like at the parade. You had that guy at the parade at the Europa Cup. I was there. But like the guy was charging people £100 a thing to sit on his balcony just above the shops right in front of the goddamn stadium. It's like, if I had £100, I'd probably give him that so I don't get squashed. But, you know, prime location. But some of these clubs now are making mad money off of player sales, and that money could go in to regenerate their stadium and the surrounding area. I mean, if Bournemouth are serious about staying up, they've got the money to invest. Now from what? They've sold 3 really good players this season. When you got Liverpool fans going, why do we sign the left back? Well, I wouldn't mind him at Tottenham. You know what I mean? There's a few players at Bournemouth are sold, like they're very tidy players. I think one of the players from Bournemouth has gone to Real Madrid. If I'm correct, if I remember correctly.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, mate. I think so. Can't remember his name though. But yeah,
it was the midfielder, wasn't it? Because the left back from Bournemouth has gone to Liverpool. No, it's the centre back at Bournemouth has gone to Liverpool. And I think the centre midfielder or right or left winger's gone to Madrid. I can't remember his name. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's going to wind me up now. But like they've made it cool 200 million in this season alone, just selling players off. These players they brought in for like 5 to 10 million and sold off a huge profit. It's ridiculous. Like their scouting departments can do it. I mean, I'm a Brightonian. I'm a Brightonian. I've seen my team go from the bricks and the sticks up to the Premier League. You know, I've seen us play at some really dodgy stadiums over the years while the Amex was being built. I was in the youth team going around knocking on people's doors trying to get them to sign like the paperwork with like some of the football players. Some days like, would you like to have the local stadium built here? Blah blah blah. Knocking on people's doors. But like I've seen Brighton do it the right way. They go out and scout the right way. Look, half of the fucking Brighton teams at Chelsea. So I think in 3 seasons, Brighton, Chelsea, 6 players from Brighton are now playing at Chelsea. 5 more, and they've got a full Brighton starting lineup. I jokingly sent Ryan a picture of the new Chelsea logo. It's like the Chelsea Football Club with the seagulls badge in the middle. You know, some of them have got lost on the way home from their holidays and gone down to Stamford Bridge. Yeah, this looks like the Amex. We'll play here. You know, you got to laugh at that, but like how Chelsea getting away with this, man? They've got so many holes in their loopholes, man. It's like a packet of hula hoops looking in there. It's like, where's Chelsea? You're looking through the bag of hula hoops to find out what rule they fucking broken next, you know?
Yeah, but the thing is, they found the loopholes to get all these players in, and then when they get to a point where they need to start selling them, all that's going to massively go into their FFP, and then they're just going to go massively big again, aren't they? So
yeah, I mean,
it's kind of like they've given themselves a kickstart. Yeah.
Well, they could always build another car park to sell to themselves, you know.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Or do a Villa, sell your women's team to yourself for half the price.
They've already done that.
We own that, but
they did
we'll
that
sell
last
it
season.
Yeah, I know. No, Villa did it this season, didn't they?
Yeah, Villa did it, but Chelsea did it last season.
It's like selling my left arm and putting it on my right hand side. You know, I don't like it over here, so you know, I'll just take this little portion of my body over here. Like, there we go, touch it over here. It looks better, don't it? That is so dodgy. The loopholes for that. I mean, the loophole gymnastics that these top teams that get away with this shit is just fucking next level. It really is.
And then there's Daniel Levy that sits there going, right, well, we can't spend this because we got this and we got to stick by the rules.
That's the only thing I can commend him on is the fact that we're not being investigated for anything because we've done it correctly. That's the only props and flowers I'll give him. The only props and flowers I'll give that bloke is thanks for not making us look like Man City and having 115 charges. Thanks for not making us look like Chelsea where we have to sell our fucking car park and our park bench to ourselves. You know, we've done it the correct way. We've done it in that sense, saving up over a few years, but 1 billion and that stadium still doesn't feel like home to me.
Oh, no, not yet. But I think a lot of that is down to, you know, and I've seen it as well. And with how we've been playing over the last 4 years, the fans are not getting behind it because they just can't. You know, what's there to get behind? There's no excitement. There's no someone gets on the edge of your seat. You know, if you remember at White Hart Lane, you know, it was passionate. We were close. It was there. But this stadium, I think it just needs to have. I'm hoping
unless
this is going to change with Frank.
Like my granddad
obviously.
Where my granddad had a season ticket self-upper and the toilet was always broken. Like fucking people pissing on the floor basically at the old White Hart Lane. You're like, fuck. It stunk. But you gotta love it. The old lady had a bit of.
I remember good old White Hart Lane days.
Sold to her. I'm traveling up here from Brighton to London.
Yeah,
my granddad,
you know.
My granddad and my uncle, like most weekends, match days, like you're getting pumped up. I mean, what a feeling! You know, you're walking down White Hart Lane, down the old high street, not the fucking new high street, the old high street where not every other shop was a cafe, a kebab house, or a burger or a place to get your haircut. It's like all little local businesses, different kinds of shops. You know, now it's like every other shop's either hairdresser, get a vape, or get a burger, get a vape. It's like that down here in Brighton. Every other shop's either a hairdresser or a place to get a vape store. You can't
It's like
even
that
walk up
everywhere
North
now.
Street. Can't walk up North Street. You walk down one side of North Street. I've counted. There's 10 on one side and 15 on the other. So before you even get to the main part of town, you've got 25 vape shops just to get to town. It's like London has lost its charm in its sense, but like what I'm glad for I mean, the coach and horses will always be there, and it'll always be an integral part for any Tottenham fan. It's like the holy pilgrimage, isn't it, when you're in London as a Spurs fan? What bar are you going to? Coach and horses. There you go. It's where everyone goes. What a pub. But
That
like,
was always the bar to go to, wasn't it?
yeah, it was. I mean, I still get your finger out your nose, Ryan, or at least turn your camera off. Oh, mate, I don't want to see you picking those nuggets, but I mean, as a kid growing up, you know, as a 10-year-old, I can't exactly walk into a pub, go, give us a pint, love. You know, you got your granddad and your uncle sitting there having a couple of drinks before going into the stadium. There's me and my cousin necking back an orange juice, thinking it's like vodka and orange juice, pretending we're drunk. You know, like, you know, those are the happy days of the White Hart Lane. But like,
The thing is, in those days, your granddad used to give you a pint.
Well, back in the 90s, where we weren't such wet behind the ears, little let's moan at everything Karens, you know, you had a problem, you just got on with it instead of fucking posting it all over the internet or going to let 27 people know about your problem, you know, in that sense. But like those old days, like of being at the lane was special, you know. It's every weekend or every other weekend, because obviously my granddad runs his record shop down here, my uncle runs it with him, and you know, it's pretty much every weekend or every other we were traveling, depending if there are away games close to Brighton, so like your Southamptons, your Bournemouths and stuff like that, all those kind of like South Coast derby games we'd always go to. You know, it was special with my granddad and my uncle. And I go and look at the new stadium now and it just feels soulless. There's no real connection to the old days, you know. I mean, they're conveniently going to put up the old Bill Nick gates, aren't they?
Yeah.
Where are they going to put that? They're not going to put that in an area of the stadium where everyone can look at it. They'll put it in the posh part end, the posh end where not many fans can get to it, so they can keep an eye on it properly. Not going to put it in the main part where everyone wants to take a picture by, are they? They're going to put it behind closed doors so that you can't get to it. And yet we're still the only club.
Does anyone even know where that's going yet?
No, but they'll put it in the posh end. They'll put it in the posh end where not us normal football fans, you know, us, well, when I was working, us working class, because it was the working class man's sport back in the day. It wasn't for tots and rich people. It was for odd men, you know, like your Tony Adamses, your Stuart Pearces, like Psycho Pierce, like your Ledley Kings back in the day. You know, it was the working man's game. They weren't on stupid wages. They paid because they were good. I mean, if you want to go stretch it right back to the 60s, 70s, and 80s, where players are paid like 20 quid and they had to have a full-time job on top of it to support their families, you know. It's like let's go back to last season, the FA Cup game against Tamworth. That team, their players were comprised of shop workers, butchers, you know, real men, proper working class men that play for a semi-professional club for the love of the sport, not for if they can get rich and, you know, get rich trying. These guys put up a hell of a fight, and we were lucky to fucking beat them on their plastic pitch because of our shit ex-manager.
Are you turning around to me and saying that they're hardcore?
Oh yeah, hardcore Korskis.
Well, no, but do you know what I mean? Like, but I was actually on TikTok with a certain person today, right, live, right, and Paul doesn't know who it is, but you do, Dan, you know who it is. But I was on with a Man United fan as well as anything, and he's turned around and said to me that, oh well, they're a bigger club than us because they finished higher than us and they've got more trophies than us. But then I turned around and I said to him, but then we beat you in the Europa League final. You went, oh, you got lucky.
He's got a little bit of a point because on the night we were shite. They were shite. It was like it was like the two worst clubs that were the highest ranked to be in the final anyway. Both playing appallingly in their leagues, managers not knowing what they're fucking doing with their players, and yet we come out on top because we got Captain Tapping to tap it in. I still say that came off of Luke Shaw. I still say that come off of Luke Shaw and went in as an own goal.
Do you know what? I've been told by that this person though, yeah, right, that it was actually Johnson's goal in the end.
Nah, I'm still giving it Luke Shaw. I don't care.
That's what I'm saying. You know what?
Bless you, sir.
It's funny you say that because I said exactly the same thing.
No, I'm still putting it down to a Luke Shaw own goal. I don't want to give that bloke any kind of props or flowers for tapping it in.
Neither do I. Neither do I. I don't want him even having an inch of a sniff of that goal. He doesn't deserve it. What did he do this last season for us? Absolutely nothing apart from tapping after tapping after tapping after tapping after tapping. And it's pissed me off.
Here's a go. Just tap it in. Just tap it in. Happy Gilmore reference. Why would you go in the home ball? That's what it felt like. He's like the Happy Gilmore of football, isn't he? He has to take 2-3 strokes to get it in the net.
That literally got me to the point of
and then you got other fans waxing lyrical about signing Tell permanently. Tell, really? Tell.
No.
30 million for Tell.
No. Don't start me with that because having Tell being even promised that he was going to be coming on a permanent. No, you can.
Wasn't there something in the loan agreement like there was an obligation to buy? Was there an obligation or an option to buy in his loan clause?
It was option.
Oh, why the fuck did we take the option?
It wasn't just us. It's if he.
I know. I scream at players like for taking their Cadbury's quite a lot. You know, picking their options. You know, like Cadbury's chocolate options. Like, look at your fucking Cadbury's, mate. Pass the ball. Look at your options. You didn't look at the fucking option now. Just went, there you go. Sure, fuck it, we'll take him. Why?
Yeah, but the thing is, he wanted to come as well, though. After the loan, he wanted to come.
Do you want to know why he came? Because he got a nice medal to put on his neck and barely did anything for us. He had a lucky deflected arse tapping goal when the ball struck his arse and went in the net. The crap goal against Villa. And then, how many goals did he score for us? What, 3? Whilst being on loan? 3. And you got people waxing lyrical. Yeah, he could become good in the next couple of years. I'm fed up. I was going to say, I'm so fed up of hearing the same old, he's going to be good in a few years. He's going to be good in a few years. He's going to be good in a few years. Whilst Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, United, fucking Brentford, Bournemouth, Brighton, picking up better quality players than what we do. Shit, I still remember a few seasons ago, we went through pretty much hardly the transfer window, not getting anyone, and then panic buying someone from Newcastle, who shall remain nameless.
Well, do you know what, Paul? I don't know if you can actually pull this up.
But that's typical Spurs all over, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll be able to pull it up or not, but could you pull up Tell's stats from last season?
Don't. It just looked very woeful. 3 goals.
No, please. I want to see the stats for last season to see how bad he actually
3 goals and assist, if I remember correctly.
No,
30 million for 3 goals. Oh, fuck, man. 30 million for 3 goals. That's 10 million a goal. Season as a whole. Or whilst being on loan to us. So you're looking at what, January
to... we paid a £10 million loan fee as well.
Oh, wow.
Bayern pulled our pants down on that one, didn't they? Oh, we still owe you money for Kane, so do you want to take one of our shit players on loan for 10 mil? I mean, Bayern only picked up Tell because of the fact he had a bit of a hype around him 2 seasons ago when he was 16. Fucking hell, man. What was it? Tell was playing in France, was it? Oh, God, I can't remember what club. It's going to bug me now. Was it Olympic Mayonnaise? Mayonnaise? or Lyon or something like that. He was at one of the French
Something
clubs,
like that.
wasn't he? Olympic mayonnaise. I always call them Olympic mayonnaise. That makes me want to have a ham mayonnaise sandwich when I think of their name. But I mean, you've just had this season. Was it Lyon get relegated? Is it Lyon?
Yeah,
I can't remember. Yeah, it
they've
wasn't Lyon. They
been
got
forced
relegated.
relegated though, haven't they?
So that means that they have some
Yeah,
very
Leon have
good
been forced
players there.
relegated.
They have the Georgian winger. He's very, very good. You've also got the guy that always used to pester Ryan and mine's Football Manager saves, and there's a little Argentinian called Thiago Almada. Yeah, I know he's on loan, but maybe we could pick him up. I mean, they've got some very good players there. I mean, one of their centre midfielders is heavily linked to the Premier League already. And it's like, why not? I mean, I'm a big advocate for Kepa Thuram, you know, Marcus Thuram's younger brother. Get him in. I mean, 40 million, he's a steal. Bring him in. Stick him in that midfield.
You found it. Found the stat sheet, Paul.
Yeah, I'm just having a look.
Ah, okay. Yeah, because I'm just intrigued to see all the passing ratios and everything with that. Because I swear down, if it looks as bad as it looked on the pitch last year, I'm gonna literally I'm gonna lose my shit in a minute.
Oh, I've just seen I just looked on YouTube quickly as well. Oh, West Ham supporters channel. How much more will we take? Kudus to Spurs, Sullivan and Bardi. What's it? Ready to get out. I mean, you just got West Ham fans collectively wetting their pants because they're selling Kudus to us, but they were happy to sell him to the serial cheats at Chelsea. I mean, if they've got such a problem with us, they should have more of a problem with Chelsea for the way they've broken rules for the last 15 years.
Yeah, so it's Stadia Rennes or something he come from.
Stadia Rennes,
wow.
yeah. I mean, so like I said, he was picked up from the French league for hype because of he had a little bit of something about him when he was 16. I mean, there were clubs in England wanting him. I think it was Arsenal, Man United, and Chelsea at the time wanted him 3 years ago. Bayern came in, slapped the money on the table, and took him because of the hype. Another player brought off the back of hype and has not really progressed, has he? I mean, he was shadowing Kane for a season. He could have learned something. Musiala didn't learn nothing from, and I feel sorry for Musiala. I was watching that match. That's a horrific injury. But could you imagine staying at Bayern now? You could get your chance in that Bayern team if you stayed at Bayern. I know it's a horrific injury, and I really don't think Musiala is going to come back the same player. That leg snap, I was literally, my stomach turned. I was running to the toilet. I was like,
Just before we continue, though, guys, if anyone that's in here, if you can hit the like, and if you haven't already, smash the subscribe button, because that'll be a great help to us to build this channel up, guys. I know we should have done that at the beginning, but hey, you know. But yeah, can you guys smash and hit that like button, please, and the subscribe.
Yeah, I knew it was from like one of the lesser French teams. I mean, Stade Rennais, they've come up with some absolute blinders over the last few years. I mean, there was a certain French striker that I'd always sign on mine and Ryan's FM saves that would always piss him off because of his pace. But now he's playing in Germany, isn't it? Frankfurt, I think he moved to that French player. I always used to sign on our saves over the Xbox.
I can't remember, mate.
Oh, mate, you sit there, you got to think like there are some very good young players in that French league, and then there's players like Tell that are. I mean, what do we do with him? Does he come in? Is he a first teamer? Is he an impact player, backup? I mean, these players are already signed before Frank come in. You got some fans going, "Oh, why would Frank want him?" Blah, 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 blah. It's like, no. At the end of the day, Frank didn't have a say in it because it was an option to buy him, and Levy stupidly took the fucking option. That I
Yeah.
got to give like an absolute massive red flag criticism for. Like, it's an option, mate, not an obligation. Don't take the option. Don't take the option. A week
Yeah.
after the season's finished, we are proud to announce the signing of Matthijs Tel on an undisclosed fee for around 30 million. Oh, thanks. I mean, that money could be put towards someone of higher quality and meeting the
Yeah.
homegrown English quota that we are so sorely needing at Spurs. We desperately need to fill this massive void in English quota instead of just going into the Champions League, filling it up with youth team kids we've never heard of. I mean, there's a few good. Hang on.
Oh. Oh, you good?
Pollen.
Ah,
Oh,
hay fever again. Fair enough.
yep. Hay fever's back up again.
Yes.
But I mean, when I got to sit here and question some of the dodgy decisions from the scouting department as well over the last few years, now that Frank has come in, maybe some of these scouts and this information of these unknown gems. I mean, what is that Toko Takai from Japan? After watching
Yeah.
a few games, not just highlight clips, I actually watched some of the games he's played in the last season and a half. I think there's about 6 games that I watched literally back to back of
Yeah.
each other. And he was absolutely solid in all of them. So, again, was that a player known to Frank and to his scouting team? And he thought, you know what, I'll take him to Spurs? Or did Spurs know about it before Toka came in? I have a feeling it was a Frank signing, that one definitely, because he knew of the player and he brought him in.
Yeah.
I just hope that this scouting team, this scouting network, really do come along and bring up some of these gems that we were missing out on, that Brentford and Brighton were signing, Bournemouth. You know, these teams, these so-called smaller clubs finished above
Yeah.
us with better scouting, better everything in the last 2 years compared to Tottenham. I mean, like I said, when it comes to Embuemo, like I said, I consume football stupid amount.
Mm.
I'll even watch the back ends of Bulgaria or Timbuktu. If there's a football match on while this season's finished, I'm watching it.
Yeah.
And Embuemo a few years ago when he was playing in France, he was in, like I said, he was in League A, not in like the main league. And it was like, this kid's something special. He's going to go somewhere. Ended up playing. I was correct on that one. Wissa, another player that I knew of before he came to England. It's like, Jesus, that Wissa kid. I wonder if he'll come to the Premier League. I wonder if he'll end up at Spurs. What a player that would be. Went to Brentford. So Brentford
Yeah.
knew players. They scouted these players, and it's like, Jesus, man, where was our scouting on players like that? Picked up right gems. I mean, I didn't even know about what's his name at Brighton, the Japanese guy that everyone waxes lyrical, Mitoma. I didn't know about him, but Jesus Christ, how did Brian pick him up for so cheap? And now he's on the cusp of like 80, 90 mil. And he's basically turned around and said, I've signed a new contract with Brighton. I'm staying here. I don't want to
Yeah.
leave Brighton. I want to succeed with Brighton. What a good young player that kid is. You know, he wants to be loyal to the team that is making his career, basically, and
Yeah.
money in his pocket. I mean, the loyalty in football's not there anymore. You've got 24 hours after Ange being, well, not 24 hours after Ange being sacked, but 24 hours after Frank's announced, you got that fucking Muppet cutie going on about, oh yeah, I want to move, I want to leave, I want this, I don't, blah, 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 blah. Mate, just leave then, just go. I wouldn't mind seeing the back of Cutie Romero. Good player, not world class. What makes him world class? He won a World Cup. Well, that's what I've had an argument with some people about. Oh, he's got to be world class because he's won a World Cup.
Yeah.
No, world-class players are consistently good. They never really drop the ball. I mean, Cuti Romero couldn't even lace the boots of Paolo Maldini.
True.
So, he got was it Italian Young Defender of the Season? What, 4 years ago? And people still try to bring that up as an argument. Oh, he won a World Cup and he was the Italian Young Defender of the Season 4 years ago. And then we went out and got what's his name? who's injured now. That's a centre back. I can't remember his name. It's gonna bother me now. But it's just like you have to think like just because he won Young Player of the Year or Best Defender of the Year, does that make him world class? Not a chance.
No.
And at the end of the day, I've got to sit here and think logically. The guy's out injured 55% of the season. In 4 years
Yeah.
he's been with us, he's played 45% of the minutes. And then magically, he's like the resurrection of Jesus when fucking Argentina come knocking. You know, the guy could be out with an injury and then rise the next morning once that blue and white striped shirt's dangled in front of his face. So, you
Yeah.
know, the loyalty isn't to his club or to the team he's playing for, it's to his country. But like with most Argentinian players, they want to play in La Liga. They want to play for Barcelona and Real Madrid because it fits their culture and what they've been brought up on in their home countries, you know, because Argentina and Brazil are two of the biggest hotbeds for Real Madrid and Barcelona fans outside of Europe because that's what they know. It's
Oh,
the
yeah,
samba
of course.
style of play, you know, it's the samba style of play. That's what they want. That's what they know. And that's what they've been brought up with. That Barcelona and Real Madrid are so-called the two best teams in the world football.
Yeah.
But I just got to sit here and think if Cootie wants to go, go. I don't want players here that don't want to be here. If like Sonny says he wants to stay, even though some of us are like saying, please, Sonny, you've done us a favour now. Not done us a favour, you've done us a good service. Leave while we're on top.
Yeah,
If you really
definitely.
love the
I
club, if you
agree.
really love the club, if you really love the club that much, instead of letting Daniel Levy hit you over the back end of your ass with a stick to try and see how much money falls out of you because of what the fans are doing, paying for your merch with Son number 7 on the back, and you know the stadium constantly. Like when I was at the game, it was literally, it was weird. It didn't feel like White Hart Lane. There wasn't that glimmer of where we come from. There was nothing really inside the stadium to say where we'd been to this point, and not even a
Yeah.
statue outside of you know some of our greats. No Ozzy Ardiles statue, no Bill Nick statue, no Kane statue, no Grieve statue, no nothing. Kane got a mural on a wall just down by the Chit King, if I remember correctly, or where around that section of London as you're going towards the stadium. A mural on a wall. That's what our best top goal scorer got. There is no real nod to the past because it's been removed, replaced. It doesn't feel like you're in that part of London anymore. I know it's a modern ultra £1 million making stadium, but Jesus, man, it's just getting to a point that I miss the old White Hart Lane. All right, we weren't competing for major honours back then, but at least we had good players. Now I see it
Yeah.
as we got this very big stadiums cost us a lot with very average players.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably 3 players I'd keep in this whole of the first 11, and I'd ship the fucking rest of them off.
And who
I
would
would
they be then?
literally, I'd keep Vic in goal, Porro, and Van de Ven. That's
Really?
before the signings. Yeah, before the signings, man. I mean, Pedro Porro. If we're, you know, I'd have him. Actually, I'd keep Spence, but I don't rate Adogi. I really just want to see the back of Bentancur and Basuma because why not recycle and replace? Kuti can leave. I mean, we've got younger players coming in, players out injured. I'd sell Kulu, but we can't because he's injured. No,
Yeah.
again, Kulu I think is very average. On his day, he can be unplayable, but when do we really see that back to back? We'll see it for 2 games, not see it for 6 months. There's a very good start to the season, then it just peters out for the rest of the year. It just gets so boring. It's like, mate, I'll just get rid of Kulu, please.
Yeah. No, I get them.
The fringe players as well. You got we got Solomon on a free, if I remember correctly. Was it a free? And politically, blah 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 blah, allegiances for his country and everything. I understand that, you know, but he's a very average player that we brought in, given a huge contract to, and he's barely played a minute for us out on loan. So ship him off. There is Richarlison, ship him off. Basuma, I love the guy for, you know, when he was down here in Brighton, he was one of the nicest blokes. You'd always stop and say to a fan, but like I was out with my cousin. He's a staunch Brighton fan, He was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, can I get a picture of you, Biss?" And I'm like, "You know, absolutely love you," when he was playing for Brighton. And like Biss goes, "Why don't you want to get in the phone?" He goes, "Someone, you need someone to take the picture." Two, I'm as Tottenham supporter. He goes, Tottenham, good team, man, good team. You know, I was like, I would get in the picture with Basuma, but at the end of the day, I mean, someone's got to take the picture.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just so infuriating that we hold on to these players for too long. I would love to see the back of Ben Davies, the master, was it jack of all trades, master of none. Yeah, I would strip the team out. I mean, for young players, I'd keep Keeley. There's a lot of young players I would keep because some of them are pretty good.
Yeah, of course.
Mikey Moore, keep Devine. I'd give Brian Daigle his props here. Yeah, I'd literally let Devine show us now what he can actually do.
Yeah.
Like when I look at that team, I want the likes of Johnson, Richarlison, Solanke, Basuma, Bentancur gone. I want Sonny to leave as a champion, and I don't want Levy to keep smacking him over the back end of his arse with a stick to see how much money you can make out of him. It's the only reason why Sonny is being kept is how much money can Daniel Levy milk out of his teeth, basically. It's the only reason why he's here, because of the Asian market, because of how much money the South Korean fans bring to the team buying Sonny shirts, Sonny merch all the time. I love Sonny. But, mate, leave as a champion and just say to Mr. Levy, well, thanks for that money, mate. I'm going over here to make more. I've got to make more for my family. And, well, he hasn't, I mean, hell, I don't know what his relationship status is, but for the longest time, he didn't have a girlfriend, did he? Because his dad always said, if you want to make it to the top, you got to put making a family, put that to a side until your career's over. So it's like the guy's gonna be an old dad, but a very wealthy old dad, you know. So you're just like, right, let's drop them off at the nannies for the day and let's go out down the shops. It's like Sonny, I would love for him to go out as a champion. Cootie, he doesn't want to play for us unless Argentina is dangling that blue and white striped insult shirt to the English in front of us all the time, you know. I can't take players that don't want to be at the club.
Looking forward to seeing again though, right? And I don't know if you can agree with me on this. And I know Paul's doing his own thing at the moment, so I'm not going to ask him. But if he wants to come in at any point, that's fine. But what would you say about Kulu?
Ship him off, get rid. Average player. I've already said he is a very average player, and on his day he looks like a world beater. But we see it for about 2-3 games. Everyone will wax lyrical for him for about 2-3 months, and then it's back to being average. I mean, let's look at the start of the season. The start of the season was where Kulu was flying. There was a good 2 to 3 month period where Kulu was mustard. Even though we were playing shit, he still played with his heart. And then it just kind of seemed to overnight just disappear from him, like he just gave up. Down tools.
But would you say
Hello?
Sorry, I'm just checking something because I'm doing two things.
You were halfway
at once
through a
here,
sentence and you stopped.
Who, me?
Yeah, I know. No, me.
No, Ryan.
All right.
Then,
I was waiting for him to like, you're speaking.
Yeah, no. But would you then turn around and say that if we was to keep Kulu, would you say he should start above Brandon when he comes back from the injury?
I think he should be the backup to Kudus, and we should ship Johnson out. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I just think to take away his tap-ins, what did the guy bring us? He could barely take on a player. His pass completion is to the ball going backwards. I mean, it's just a joke. I can't sit here as a fan and honestly give that guy any kind of props just because he's tapped in 19 goals. Oh, yeah, he scored 19 goals this season. You know, where was he standing each time? On the fucking post. Did he beat his man to get there? No. Did he take on the man to get there? No. Was he in the right place at the right time? Yes, he tapped in a goal, got us a win. I
See,
cannot
now-
sit there and I need footballers to be footballers. I need 11 men on that pitch. I don't need 10 men and a passenger. I need, as a goalkeeper fan, I want my goalkeepers screaming at his defence and commanding his box. I want my defenders screaming at the midfielders to get their asses back when they need help. I want my midfielders screaming at the fucking forwards, drop back a bit so we can get the ball to you. I'm such an old purist of football that communication for football with these players nowadays, there's barely anything there because you don't really hear them talk to each other anymore. You go back 15 years, you think Roy Keane would be happy to finish 17th and winning a trophy. Mate, it'd be the first one in that fucking trophy, in that locker room after that game had finished and kicking all the fucking players' heads in. You think about it. Yes, we've won a trophy, woohoo, but we played shit all season, lads. What the fuck? Sort it out. That's what Roy Keane was like. The guy could win a treble and still chew you out.
See, now this
You
is
could be
why
winning.
I've-
You could be winning 4-0 with Roy Keane on your team, and Roy Keane would still chew you out if you're playing shit. That's what you want in a captain. You don't want the
See,
nicey, clappy Son. I love Son. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want nicey, clappy. Everyone gets their own special fucking handshake and fucking sign language and all that shit after you've scored a goal. You go up to your fucking player like I used to when I was a captain of the Brighton under-15s. You go up if you don't fucking like the way things are playing when the players stopped and you start screaming at players. Like how Vicario, he chewed out Gray this season, didn't he? Well, no, it was Bergville. He chewed him out. He fucking walked up to him when the ball was dead, started chewing him out. That's what I want to see in a captain. That's what I want to see in my players. A senior player going up to a younger player going, right, this isn't fucking on, sort it out. Get your arse in gear, sort it out, you know? That's what you want in a fucking player.
see, now this is why I've said to Paul, get rid of Johnson. Because he is totally dog shit. And then that's why when I say I don't want Johnson at this club, it's because we know we got Kulu who can come back in and play on that right hand side.
Yeah, no, but
And
Kulu can't take a player on either. They're both as effective as each other. They're both as effective as a fucking chocolate teapot with a glass handle. Both of them can't
Yeah,
take on a man. Both of them are slow as fuck. I mean, I think what put Johnson off taking on a player was after that injury he picked up. Before that, he would try to blister past someone, and he picked up that injury. And I feel like he lost his confidence about taking on a man and beating a man. You know, I feel like that's what's knocked it out of him.
See, but this is why, yeah, like when I say to Paul, when I've said this to Paul, like God knows how many times over the last week I've turned around and I've said to him, like Brennan Johnson is trash. Like, and
Don't insult trash. Some trash is all right. Some trash you can recycle and sell off for a profit. Some trash you can get something out of. Trash like Johnson taps in a ball, taps in a goal. I don't want 10. I don't want 10 players on a pitch and one passenger that might score you a tap in. I want all 11 players playing to their full. I don't want all the team pulling in one direction for a bloke to try and try to run into the box and try to get in the end of something. All right, he did that 19 times this season, but I don't want to fucking rely on a guy running into a box and to try and get on the end of something. Try to stand on a post. What I want you as a winger is you to try and take on your man for that space in the middle to open up. I want you to try and beat your man into the fucking corner and hold that play up if we're winning 1-2-1 or 2-0. Hold that ball up in that corner flag for 30 seconds, waste some time. I want you to try and get down that wing. I want you to be touched tight to that line so that you can take on your man. Not, I've got the ball now, I'm going to turn around and pass it backwards. That's where most of that guy's pass completion come from this season and the last 3 years is I can't beat this bloke because I haven't got the drive to do it. I'm going to pass it backwards and then try and get in the box and try and tap it in.
See, and this is why I've said to Paul that this is why trash like Johnson needs to go. Because, you know, all right, I get it, right? Kulu is out injured until November, but still. And can you see why I say this now, Paul? Paul?
Oh wow. Paul did message in the
I
chat
think we
thing.
might
Hang
be
on. All right, Paul. We got you.
All right, mate. Yeah, we've got you, mate. Yeah, that's good. All right, well, I've got you, mate. Yeah, you're good.
I mean, how much more can we try to take this as a fan base? Try it and support these players. Try to believe. Try to dare to do. Like signing players like Johnson make me not want to watch the team play. Make me want to turn off. Make me not want to be around to watch Tottenham. I would rather go and watch Whitehawk play and watch Tottenham last season.
Yeah.
I was literally doing that. Tottenham matches are coming on. It's only £5 to go and watch Whitehawk. I'll take Theo, he gets in for free. Go and watch a game of football for £5.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? I would rather go and watch a non-league match and watch Tottenham play non-league tactics in a Premier League that a manager for the last 2 seasons has made us look fucking mediocre. When you take away the first 10 games under Ange, lucky to get a result versus Sheffield United.
Yeah.
And then what happened after that? When 5th. You know what I mean? And then this season alone just goes to show you the guy's tactically inept, doesn't listen to his staff. I've been saying it for 2 years. This manager has an injury track record, doesn't listen to staff, is stubborn, stuck up his arse and won't change his ways. I got called so many names on the internet, had a death threat received by some little troll on the internet. I got to sit there and laugh, but then the same prick said something about my son. So if I ever see him fly into this country, I'm going to slap him. And I'm not normally like that, Ryan, you know me. But at the end of the day, if someone's going to say something about my little boy, you're going to get a slap. You can say what you want about me, be man enough to face me man to man. But I've been calling it out for 2 seasons. 2 seasons I've been saying about that manager and about his tactics won't work, about how his coaching staff in Australia, when he was the Australian managers team, when he was gloating that he could take these tactics to the Premier League, and his coaching staff, for 2 of them former Premier League players, mind you, turned around and said you wouldn't be able to play like that in the Premier League, you get found out. The only reason why he won in the J League, why he won in Scotland, because he was the manager of the 2 top teams in those leagues. You could put me, you, or Paul in charge of Celtic. We'd take the Scottish treble every year.
Oh yeah,
that's how piss poor the Scottish league is. I mean, unless you're Celtic, what's the point of supporting anyone up there?
Yeah.
And then when you sit back in the day,
hang on. Paul, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
He's on a phone or something.
Still there or not? Because obviously, I didn't know if your internet was still bugging out like an absolute muppet or not.
Well, I don't know what's up with my Wi-Fi, but I've had to go on my phone.
It could be the green screen that you're using, because if your internet is struggling, the green screen and things like that can actually cause a delay and lag and all that kind of stuff.
Possibly.
If you're playing up. Oh yeah, it does. I mean, the only reason why I haven't got a green screen is my internet's
done him like a kipper. Done him like
He's done me like a kipper. But basically, you also want to check up with your ISP as well, mate, and ask them to come up and do a check of your equipment.
Yeah, say the speed should be enough, because I have it on my work on Teams, so.
Yeah, I mean, with Tottenham as well, like, oh man, the day Daniel Levy and his 3 cronies leave.
I'm doing a Daniel Levy. I'm going Poundland.
Going Poundland? Don't insult
that.
Yeah,
I went Poundland for the internet.
I was the supervisor at Poundland for 5 years. Don't take the mic. When you get customers come in, how much is this? You just look down at your name badge like, shit, I'm in the wrong shop. I thought I worked for Woolworths.
It's not a pound anymore, though, is it?
No, it's what's it when they brought it in? It was called Windscape or something like that. Everything is 50p and above, up to everything is also an accumulation of a pound. If it's 2 for a quid, it's 50p each. So yeah, I mean the shit I used to get from customers now. How much is this? Look down at name badge and contemplate your life like the fuck.
Do you know what, Paul? Right, I think Daniel Leary's trying to stop us from doing the stream without any glitches, mate, because he doesn't want us to give him any credit.
Right,
Sounds
Kudus is
about
over the
right.
line. Now go get me a left winger, a striker, and a DM. 4 players to freshen this team up. Get rid of. I was about to say Berbatov. Fuck, we're going back to early 2010 here, ladies and gentlemen.
Berbatov.
Yeah, Berbatov, 2010. Darren, come on, that was 15 years
He'd probably
ago.
still play better than what we've got.
Even did you watch the Legends game, Paul?
No, I missed it.
Oh mate, Aaron Lennon at 42 can still run. I jokingly I think it was in Savage chat room. I'd take Aaron Lennon to come in and teach Brendan Johnson how to run and take on a man. Or even there, yeah, offer the guy 10 grand a week or a rolling contract. When you play, you get paid. You take that and he'll fucking replace Johnson in a week. Oh man, but like seeing some of the legends. I mean, I remember watching a video with Berbatov at his first touch. They were firing balls at him with one of those ball cannons from distance, and they were going 50 miles an hour. Yeah, this is easy, boys. Come on, make it faster and shit like this. You'd see like 60 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour. He's like, come on, challenge me. 101.1 miles an hour. The guy controls the ball out of the air. First touch. 101 miles per hour. You're like, fuck me, dude. Can you come and be a coach? This is before we got like Frank and everyone. Like, can you come and teach your players how to do that? Cause, like, fucking hell. Go and get Gareth Bale to coach this lot. I mean, we got the Timu version in Johnson.
No, but you know what the problem would be though, Darren? Right? Is that they'll turn around and they'll be playing golf.
Not that many golf clubs in London. Not decent ones.
That's why Gareth Bale left.
Yeah. I heard he's got a good handicap at golf. So might make it pro one day.
No, but what I liked about Gareth Bale, he might have had his golf, but he always performed on the pitch for Tottenham, without a shadow of a doubt. So
even at Madrid,
The second stint.
Oh man, let's not go back to COVID. That was fucking horrible.
So, do you think then is Kudus going to get us off our seats?
Yeah, because he's got everything in his underlying stats. It just tells you that the guy knows how to run with the ball and take a player on. His first season alone, I had Kudus in my dream team first season because I knew how good he was. Shame the rest of my fucking team played poorly that year, but.
Actually, that's the question, right? How many goals did Kudus actually get in his first season? Because I know he did get a really good one with that bicycle kick, didn't he?
Was that one against City, wasn't it?
I think so. But
I think it was 13, 14.
Fair enough.
I can't remember. I think it was 13 or 14 his first season with 9 assists. Believe so. I can't quite remember now. It's 2 years ago.
Soon tell you.
I don't sit there and look at what kids are doing anymore at West Ham and stuff. But if they come and do the business for us, then I'm all right with it.
That's all it is for me. You know, I don't care what players have done at other clubs. You know, you've signed for Tottenham. I don't care what you did in the past. Now I want you to do better than what you did before. I don't want you to match it. Oh, where's Corey?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think Daniel Levy's said I've heard too much now, and I'm not having it. I'm not having you saying I'm demanding more players. I've given you Kudus. No one else is coming in that's going to be any good. That's probably what he's done.
What?
Yeah, so Kudus
in the top quarter.
In 24-25, 32 appearances, 5 goals, 3 assists.
But then that's for a season where the manager was fucking playing him here, there, and everywhere, apart from everything but making him the tea lady.
Yeah. And then the season before, 23-24, 33 appearances, 6 as a sub, 8 goals, 6 assists.
Hey,
Still a good return, but the amount of times he took on and beat a player to make that space to be able to create something or just waste time, or I'll take that.
But his pass completion rate 7. Out of 773 passes, 84% were completed.
That puts him in the 90 percentile, doesn't it, of passes complete?
Yeah. And dribbles completed. He did 201 that season, and 62% of them he completed.
201, so 62%. So that
Crosses, 23% out of 92.
100 and wait. You say 211 attempts he took on, and
201 dribbles, and he completed 62%.
62%. 200. I'm just working out maths in my head, but like I'm thinking now.
Well,
203, 70, so average about 2.5 dribbles a game.
Yeah.
Sense.
But then, right, what I'm now concerned about, right, because we've spoken about all these, these new signings that we all want. Has Daniel Levy cut you off the? Did he kick you out by any chance?
Oh, Sonny went uppity there, mate. It literally went access to this website, allow webcam and headset to be allowed again. I'm like, what the fuck? Just press F5, refresh the page, and press allow. There we go. I'm back.
It sounded like a Daniel Levy scheme. That did.
Either that or a West Ham supporter's got hold of my ISP and he's just sitting there like DDoSing me. Upset West Ham fan just DDoSing someone like that. DDoS. So I'm an upset West Ham fan. Oh, they're filth. If we're filth, what does that make Arsenal and Chelsea to them? Millwall. You want to look at filth? You look at fucking Millwall. Enough said about them. I don't even give Millwall that much like limelight. Being a Brightonian, we're brought up to fucking hate Palace. When someone says to me as a Tottenham fan, who do you hate more, Palace or Arsenal? I'm like, oh, you fucking bastards. Who do you hate the most? Fucking Palace! Is that Palace that I did my knee injury in? Hey, so I hate Arsenal just as much, but if it comes to have to save an Arsenal fan or a Palace fan from dangling off a cliff, I'm gonna pick the Arsenal fan up. Just because in Brighton we're told to hate we're taught to hate Palace in Brighton from like before we could even walk. I'm a Tottenham supporter, but I was told to hate Palace. And in the Brighton youth team, taught to hate Palace. The rivalry's there, even at the youth level. We hate you. I injured myself playing against Palace boys. It was Jermaine Pennant that broke my knee. Jermaine fucking Pennant, and he went off and became a fucking professional. Yay! It wasn't Jermaine Pennant. It wasn't Jermaine Pennant. It wasn't someone else called Pennant in the Palace youth team. But like, fucking hell, the guy did me dirty in goal. He took my knee out. So if I walk, even I walk past a Palace fan, I hiss at them like.
What, a bit like Misty or Rhea?
Yeah, I mean, when the Amex was first brought, when the first Palace game down here in Brighton, there's a place where the stadium was going to be bought, Waterhall. Mate, I know I'm from Palace, but can you tell me where your stadium is? Yeah, mate, what you want to do is jump on the 18A and go to Waterhall. Even though he just got off the fucking train and went past the stadium 10 minutes prior where it says, this is the Amex Stadium. How stupid you have to get off of that fucking station and go to the stadium. I thought I'd take a prick a lesson. I don't know if he ever made it, but fuck you. I can't stand Palace fans and I can't stand Palace.
But you like Eze?
I don't mind Eze, but then he went through the Arsenal youth system, didn't he? So
yeah, they let him go.
Yeah, now they're about to buy him back if we're not careful.
I'll tell you something about famously with Brighton, Roy Keane, too aggressive. Don't want you. Ian Wright. No, Ian Wright. And even Wrighty says this. A Brighton coach said to Ian Wright, you're too short, you're not going to make it. Brighton coach. Ian Wright.
It shows you what the coaches used to know, though, doesn't it?
Fucking passing up on a psycho that held Man United's midfield together for 15 years, and Ian Wright, collectively one of the best strikers in the Premier League at the time. I bet that fucking coach is looking at himself now and goes, I had these players here on trial.
Yeah, but Arsenal have got previous for that. They let go of Harry Kane, didn't they?
Yeah.
There are pictures of Harry Kane in an Arsenal shirt. Oh, yeah.
How is Misty though, Paul?
What?
How is Misty?
Oh, she's all right, mate. She's upstairs at the minute, causing trouble.
Oh, beautiful. Well, a bit like Kudus will to defend us this season, yeah?
Oh no, I'm hoping Kudus is doing more at the other end of the pitch than at the defence end.
What,
After all, that's why we bought
At
him.
least Kudus can track back and make a tackle.
Yeah.
Like I said, 10 players and a passenger.
Yeah, but I'm saying...
To me, I just see Johnson as, you know, one of them super subs that come on in the last 20 minutes, you know, when players are absolutely knackered.
Tap it in.
But no, what I mean by it, Paul, is is she going to be causing? Is she causing as much trouble as what Kudus will do to the opposition defence? Is what I meant by that.
I don't know. I've not been up there for 2 hours.
Wait, you might be unfortunate to find out that all your fucking vases are knocked off.
We don't have anything like that, mate, in the bedroom.
Oh, you're fucking lucky then. Oh shit!
Not a chance.
I've got a 5-year-old for
No,
that when I have him
not
at the
kicking
weekends.
around.
Trashes and eats everything, then goes back home. I miss my boy, though. I miss not having him at home with me all the time, but hey, that's just for another day. But, like, kids are a whirlwind, especially mine. Can I have a lolly? Can I have a lolly? Can I have a lolly? Stop asking me. Just go get the bloody lolly. Stop asking me. Go get the lolly. I don't care. I'm going to say yes anyway, so why ask? Just go get the lolly. Please stop asking me because it's a repetitive question. Why not ask me why is the sky blue? Because I can tell you that one having an A in science. Ooh. No, can I have a lolly? It's so mundane to hear. I'm not going to project my Tottenham supporting ways onto my son, even though he's chanting "I want Levy out" at 5 years old. I might take him to the protest.
Mate,
Take him to the protest.
We want Levy out. A little 5-year-old just walking along. You know what really got me? The last protest.
That's probably the worst thing you could do. And do you know why? Because he'll be just suffering the same amount of pain as what we've all caused at the moment.
You know what got me though? After the parade, getting the trains back home and everything, the underground. This was funny. This kid couldn't be no more than 6 years old, and his dad's on the train going, "Come on, Archie, give us a song!" And he's like chanting out all the Tottenham songs at 6 years old. I mean, I couldn't even get my son to count to 10 with that kind of connection, you know. I say to him, "Come on, let's count to 10." He goes, 1, 10, Xbox. Right, turn on the Xbox.
Now, PSG Chelsea final.
Oh, go on, PSG.
Actually, Paul, that's what I was going to ask you, mate, about that. Are we doing a watch along for that?
I ain't gonna have time, mate.
Right. Okay.
You can if you want.
I mean, are we going to be? Well, I mean, I mean, look, cause Gory's debute's been literally a banger, though, hasn't it? Really?
Of course it has.
Oh, he like bangers.
Considering I couldn't get on for half the stream.
Well,
Right, like in the old terms of
out,
IT, have you tried turning it off and on again?
I tried that 4 times.
Right. This is the trick that I do. So I go to the back of my router, I'll take the power out and disconnect all the cables, including the black cable that goes in the back, and I'll leave it for 5 minutes. I'll then go back, even though I have a BT hub, if I leave it off more than 30 seconds, it starts screaming at me purple, like, "Oh, you've turned me off too long!" But like after that, it's sorted and I have no problems with the internet. So like, are you also using Wi-Fi or is it hardwired?
This Wi-Fi is. I've had the same problem at work today. It's just been all day. No matter what I've done, it's just literally
It could
just
be
been a
also
nightmare.
how your house is built as well. If it's an old house, it's gonna be like thick walls. The Wi-Fi signal's got to try and get through all that as well. And if you can, try get a long ass Ethernet cable to wherever the main computer is for your home, and just have it from the router straight into the computer. That's what I've got. Admittedly,
Yeah.
I've got to have my bedroom window open all the bloody time because my dad still hasn't come up after nearly 3 months of me asking to drill a hole through my wall so I can put my Ethernet cable through the wall.
Why don't you get a drill and drill it yourself?
If I drill, mate, I just can about paint. You can just about paint. I've got when my ex was living here, I've got purple paint on the ceiling. So you can trust me with a drill. I've destroyed a whole wall. I'll end up making an extension through to my front room. It's what I wanted. My neighbours see me taking a shit. Don't give me a drill. I'll start attacking everything. Like, oh, does it go in that hole? Drilling to something that's probably got like asbestos in.
Are we going to be doing a pre and a post match show for that though, Paul?
I don't know when it's on, mate. To be honest, I've not looked. I've literally just seen it that Chelsea and PSG are in the final. Don't even know what day it's on or anything, so I couldn't tell you.
Cool. Do you know when it's on? What day it's on?
I will find out for you. It's going to be.
But does this mean PSG's going to have a hangover for the Super Cup?
That's a good question. I ain't got a clue. Because obviously, depending on what day it is, you'll know whether you'll be able to do a watch along or not, won't you?
Sunday, 13th of July at 8 p.m.
Oh,
13th of July.
Yeah, this weekend.
Yeah. What
channel is it going to
be
on?
I'll probably have a hangover.
The Super Cup final, core.
Yeah. It's on my phone, literally.
I'll probably have a hangover.
What? No, hang
so
on.
I'm off to Oasis on Friday.
Oh, yeah. No, but hang on. That can't be right. The Super Cup final, that can't be right. The UEFA Super Cup.
Yeah, Sunday.
It can't be. Surely not.
The Club World Cup's the 13th, and the Super Cup is the
13th of August, isn't it?
I think it's the 12th or the 13th. 13th of August, which is
yes, that's a month.
Today.
Yeah, so
oh no, it's a Wednesday.
Okay.
Midweek match. Go to the pub.
So, do you think you'll be able to do?
Oh no, I won't be able to. Shit, it's some holidays. I'll have my son. Oh well, I won't be going to the pub for that one then.
Go to a family pub.
Oh, what? Sit indoors while he's asleep. Family pub. I'll throw myself out for getting too drunk being a former doorman. Come on, mate, you've had too much. I'll tell you what, that's too much to drink. I'll throw myself into my bed.
Do you think you'll be able to do what? Do you think we'll be able to do a watch along for that though, Paul?
I'm not sure.
On that Wednesday.
13th of August.
Wednesday.
You got no chance.
No chance.
My daughter's birthday.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, you
can still do one though.
Yeah, I mean, you can come on and do it with me because
me.
Yeah, he's talking to you, Corey. I think.
I ain't talking to Paul now because I know he can't do it. So who the
you have to bribe me with chocolate and gummy bears. No, did he?
Chocolate and gummy bears.
I you go and get some, yeah, right, and then you can join me for the night, can't you?
I'd fucking love to, but seeing as the job centre have now gone into my second payment, them not fucking paying me.
Come on, if they're not dealt with it by August, mate.
They haven't dealt with it by August. I'll be fucking walking down and be like, you backtrack me now, bitches. I got one good little thing from them today though, because where obviously stuff that happened to me as a kid has affected me as an adult, fucking all that crap. I've signed off sick for the last 4 weeks from doing it. My coach has decided to turn around and slap me on the thing to try and get a new payment sorted out. So maybe that's the reason why I've not been paid yet.
Probably. But okay, so
I've got 95p in the bank.
Well, yeah, that's not even going to bloody help anyone, is it?
I can get a
Alright, so
Freddo.
what would you like to do
Freddo.
a pre-match and a post-match, Paul? Do you think?
What?
Do you think we'll be able to get a pre and a post-match done? Me and you.
I'm away all that week, mate. So no, I won't be able to do it.
Right,
I might be able to do a reaction as a short, but
Yeah.
Shit, we lost. We saw that coming.
Well, no, but do you know what? Right? It's funny because imagine if we win it, Paul. Yeah, right, and you're not here for it.
I'll tell you what, if we beat PSG, I am going to streak across the back of the fucking racecourse in Brighton with a Tottenham flag around my neck. I will streak across the racecourse. Actually, no one wants to see my fat, pasty white ass.
Well, anyway.
I'm the original pale kid.
I don't know, though. It all depends how serious PSG take it.
Yeah.
They're taking the Club World Cup serious, so...
Yeah, but that's worth 80 million quid.
Yeah.
It's still a trophy, dude. It's still a trophy.
But the Super Cup, right? It's like literally, they've not even had their break yet, and we're all coming back for pre-season.
Yeah.
So the minute they come, they're going to go on their break. That's going to be nigh on their first game back.
Yeah.
I still think this is weird. Like, I've been saying this for years because the German league does it. I think the French league does it, but I know the German league does their winter breakup from like the middle of December to the first week of January.
Yeah.
Every season. I think the Premier League should do that. These players need to be safeguarded and rested. If other leagues around the world can do it, why can't the Premier League? I know
because the Premier League's got more teams.
Money. I know it's money. That's all they think of.
I don't think it's about the money more than anything else. It's about all the other competitions we're in and that we run. So, for example, you've got the Carabao Cup and you've got the Champions League and the league. Then all of a sudden, you've got the FA Cup gets thrown into that at some point. So at one point, you've got 4 competitions on the go. And to me, British football has always had that Boxing Day special. It was always good for Boxing Day.
I heard a rumour this year that there is no Boxing Day football this year. I heard that's the rumour I've heard. There's no Boxing Day matches this year.
Well, we don't know.
I've heard a rumour,
I
but
can't see that not happening. I can't see that not happening. So right, okay. So well, you can fill in for Paul then.
I'll fill in.
That's if he hasn't got his son. He might have his son, Ryan.
If my son's asleep, I'm watching the football. Trust me. Even if I have to drag my PC into the front room.
Yeah, well, you can fill in for Paul anyway.
All right, let me just schedule this in. All right, 13.
Schedule.
Well, no.
Oh, sorry. I'm out shopping for pianos with Sir Elton John that day. So, oh no.
I thought you were having tea with Daniel Levy.
Oh, that's in the morning. I'll tell how much cunt he is. So I got tea with Daniel Levy in the morning and shopping for pianos with Sir Elton John in the evening. What I could do is I could phone up Ice-T and say, sorry, I don't need those acting lessons in the afternoon.
Well, that's fine.
Sorry, I just got to the back of watching Law and Order and Ice-T's in it. That's another failed rapper that's a good actor.
So no, but seriously, right? Would you be able to fill in for Paul for that week?
Yes. As long as Theo's asleep every night around 8 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay. So we've got a pre-match to do, a watch-along to do, and then a post-match to do. And then, obviously...
Pre-match, we're shit. Post-match, we're shit. Mid-match, we're shit. Oh, look, we lost. We're shit.
You can imagine that.
Do you know what, though? If we'd have played the same team we had last season, I would agree with you. But I do think...
Let's rephrase that. If we had the same manager as last season.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for me, I just think that'll be Thomas Frank's first competitive match. And I do believe that
I reckon he'll be sat there now watching all of PSG games in this Club World Cup, and he'll be picking them apart, like where their weaknesses are, where we can exploit and stuff like that. And he will be in pre-season. He'll be saying to him, look, do this, do this, do this. And I don't think we're going to get battered. I think we'll put up a fight.
This is where I have a lot of respect for PSG now, because in the last 5-6 years, they're all about having the Messis, it's that, you know. In the last 3 years, they've gone for, right, we're not going to go for the Messis and that anymore, because they haven't really given us progression in the Champions League. We'll go and find solid pros and bring up these younger kids behind them. So when these solid pros are on their way out, these kids have learnt from them, and now the kids are on this level with these pros. And they've got rid of the Messis, the fucking knob jock that thought he was French's striking god, went to Real Madrid and can't seem to get a goal. That overrated hack. He thinks he's a better coming of Thierry Henry.
But it's a bit like what we did with managers. We did exactly the same with managers. We brought in Mourinho, Conte, these like win now managers, and we did nothing. But PSG did it with players. We did it with managers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go back to the Jose one here. He was sacked a week before a cup final, and that season they'd already beaten Pep twice. So when people get back to me, but Jose didn't win anything with us because he was sacked a week before a final of a coach he'd already beaten twice.
Yeah.
I still feel if Jose was in charge, we would have been lifting that League Cup. Sorry.
Yeah, of course we would have done.
That's just me because...
but Jose is a natural winner. You know, the only reason Jose didn't last is because the fans didn't want his football.
Game. No, it's we're making the priorities of the Southampton game, so we're going to rest players for the League Cup. But Levy wanted him to focus on that game at Southampton, and that's another reason why he got sacked. But this is Southampton. Southampton is shit. They haven't been nothing since the days of Letitia. Come on, let's just put that to bed. They were good when Letitia was around. They've had a few good players since, but they've all moved on to better clubs.
Yeah.
Sorry, Southampton.
Well,
for me, though, it's just, you know, we've always had this problem of not being able to beat teams we should be beating. You know, we've had this problem for years, though. This hasn't just been an Ange problem. This has been a problem for years. You know, go back, look at the Conference League. We should have absolutely smashed it out the park. You know, even with not playing that last game, we still should have qualified.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Seriously. But then on the back of that was like COVID season as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it was true and a lot of our players were sick, then UEFA should have looked at that and gone, all right, we'll give you the leeway. Your players are real. They're human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
They've got, because also traveling internationally, you could be passing a different version or a different strain of the disease on, because I knew of COVID 6 months before it hit here, because one of my friends, Chris, is a English teacher in Wuhan when it hit there first. And he had to ask me, as a double A in science and a B in biology, he asked me, how do these things spread? He's an English teacher. He doesn't know this shit. So I told him, like, these things are soluble. They can travel through the air. They can travel through water, even a cough or a sneeze. And he was like, right, he goes, my fair warning to you, Daz, is there are people over here fighting for toilet roll. I was like, fuck off, toilet roll. People fight for toilet roll? He's like, yeah, man, toilet roll. You got a kid on the way, stock up. And I listened to him that day. I went out with my ex and we went out and bought powdered milk, nappies, everything, clothes. Underneath our bed, it was stacked. It was rammed, so we didn't have to worry. And then 2 months into the pandemic, one of my neighbours, she gave birth and couldn't get any nappies or wipes or anything. She was literally like bawling out, crying. She couldn't get anything for a little one. Took 3 packs of nappies and 2 boxes of wipes on long for her and 2 boxes of milk. I've got loads. Please just let me know if you need it, because we're fucking rammed and our kid. Like, Theo was born like that. A fucking big baby. A fucking big baby. It was a fucking big baby. But like, it was 9:13 when he come out.
Well,
like me, I was nearly 10, so I was 9.
Like father, like son.
Yeah, but like, he's 5 years old and he's in 9 to 10 clothing. He comes up past my
Wow.
hip 5. My nephew's 8. He just comes up to like the lower part of my waist. I'm 6'6", so imagine that. My kid is 5 and he's already up past my hip. It's like, fucking hell, I'm just gonna wait for him to get to like senior school and go, right, which ball do you want? A basketball or a football? If he ends up being as tall as me, I want him to go and play basketball. Fucking hell.
I think we better wrap this up, though. Getting on for 2 hours.
That's what I was trying to do about 5 minutes ago, Paul. Right. Well, anyway, so right, guys, we're going to wrap this up here now, but there's a couple of things we're going to do beforehand. First of all, the question.
Can you read that, Ryan?
Yep,
As
I can read it.
normal, it will be, who said this game? I never made predictions and never will. Answer the questions in the comments. No
The two
Googling.
managers.
Please keep it clean.
Keep it clean.
Well, I know what YouTube's like.
Yeah. Now,
Well, I've got two
obviously-
managers on the tip of my tongue, but I'll tell you after we finished.
yeah. But so what's going to happen is if there is going to be no more, if for whatever reason there isn't going to be another stream because we haven't got no more signings or anything until the Super Cup, I'm going to get Paul to either give me or Corey the will give us both the answer just in case, because like you've heard, he's going
We'll be on before that.
You think so?
Yeah. We got the you got pre-season games coming up and everything as well, and you know.
Oh,
So-
yeah, from next week. Yeah. So right. So don't worry about that because we'll give you the answer probably when after the next after the first pre-season games.
Hopefully tomorrow when we get the next signing.
Oh yeah, that would be tomorrow. Yeah. Well, when we get Wisa.
Yeah, when we get the next signing in, we'll be back.
It's not Wisa,
Yeah,
it's
we'll be
Whisper.
back, and that'll probably be tomorrow. Then when we get Wisa in.
Whisper.
But
Wissa, not Wisa. Wissa.
Yeah, all right. Fair enough. But no, I mean, Corp, you've done well for your debut, mate. I mean, you've knocked it right out of the park. You're free
I'm
to
a
come
football
back
fan
whenever you
first,
want,
a
mate.
Tottenham fan second. So if you want to talk football, I talk football. You want to talk Spurs, I'll talk Spurs. I can take my Tottenham hat off and be a subjective football fan, or I can keep my Tottenham fan hat on and be an absolute prick. So,
Well, this one you
always
keep
been
Tottenham hat on.
football. I'll keep my Tottenham hat on.
Yeah,
Hang on.
not that simple.
Sol Campbell wasn't that bad, really, was he? Prick, prick, prick.
You had to mention the traitor's name.
I think we've just been cancelled, guys.
Prick, prick, prick. Wasn't a bad defender. Prick, prick, prick.
We've just been cancelled.
This is what gets
guys.
me.
Thanks.
My dad, who hates football, can't stand football, loves Sol Campbell. When he asks me why do Tottenham fans hate him so much, I was like, really, you don't like football? Do I need to give you a history lesson? Should we go back 100 years, or do you want the quick one?
But no, seriously, you've knocked it right out of the park, Core man.
Oh, you say
Yeah,
that to all the
I
guests.
thought I knew you probably would. Anyway,
Thanks for coming on, Corey. Much appreciated. First ever live we've done, so all good. Went well, apart from the technical issues. But other than that, hopefully that'll be sorted for the next one.
Should bring up those little technical difficulties like
And
the
thanks for the
BBC
two
old
guys
stream.
watching us. Much appreciated.
Yeah. Yeah, and until the next one, guys, let's just hope we can make sure that Daniel Levy doesn't mess around with Paul's internet again. But no, until the next one, come on, Thomas Frank. Let's go and get something all on the Frank choo-choo train. Choo-choo! Until the next one, guys. We'll catch
The old
you in the next
BBC
one.
screen, innit, for technical